Hi there, and happy Mother's Day. If I was to describe the word mother in one word, it would have to be the word mother. Now, I know that may sound a little bit corny, but it is correct. And that's because that title is a lifelong duty, desire, devotion, delight, dream, and destiny. And so I want to say to every mother out there that I'm proud of you. And that's because most mothers, not only go out and raise their own children, but they help other mothers raise their own children. And so I like to say thank you for doing that. Now, thinking of a verse to share with you, I happen to think of the verse Genesis chapter 3 verse 20, which says, "And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living." Now, of course, that name might not apply to you, but the meaning of that name does. You are the cause. You are the very reason that your child or children have had life. You are the mother of their life. You are in that particular place, in that permanent position. So I'd like to take a few minutes here and elaborate on some of the realities of this special and wonderful relationship between mothers and their child. Now, first of all, I'd like to say how you as a mother are to look at your child. One thing about being a mother is if you haven't been a good one in the past, you can be a good one in the present. There is a tomorrow, but there's also today. During your lifetime as being a mother and raising your kid, you may could have been a better one at or in raising your child. But how good can you now be that they're raised? That's the question. And yes, that is up to you. Because according to 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 13, God has given you everything you need for living a godly life. And yes, being a godly mother is part of that. And so if you feel like you need to make up for lost time or make up for lost things, by all means do that. And children who are now adults, let them do that. Don't become hard or hateful to them, but instead be honorable and have your heart in the right place. Do the right thing. And if you have children, then let them do better with them. Give them another opportunity. Give them a second chance. Let them spoil them. And I know what you're thinking, man, if I send them there and they do all this and they come back there, I got to get them all straightened out again. I got to work with them. Fine, that's your job. Do that. So let them spoil them. Let them spend the night with them. And let them take them out and spend money on them. Let them spend time with them. Let them have that. Because if you don't, there may come a time in life, when you kind of regret not doing that. Or worse, your children will come up and resent you for doing that. And once your parents are gone, once your kids are grown up, it's over. That's one that you can't go back and do that. So I encourage you to do that to now. Last of all, how you as a child are to look at your mother. God knit you together while you were inside your mother's womb. Psalms 139 verse 13. God created you, but your mother carried you. Her pregnancy with you was so vital that God used Mary in the plan with Jesus. You've had to have a mother. I know some people today, and I don't know why I'm even saying this, but maybe you have some bitterness or even unforgiveness way down in your heart. And it may be because how your mother, may have raised you, or the way she raised you, or the place she raised you. And you may still be holding on some bitter because of that. But let me tell you, she may have done the best she could. So you need to love her and respect her for doing that. Don't blame your mother's raising you from a child don't blame her because of where you're at today. If you want something, if you want to change, if you want a different life, then go do it. We were watching Back to the Future Part 3 the other night with my family. And one reason we were watching that is we were telling them that that's one of the movies that come out when we were younger. But on this particular movie is how, how they go back. They'll go back to the past and then back to the future and so forth. This one they winded up in the old Western days, and it's kind of a neat movie. But at the end of that movie, Doc come back on a train now with his new wife and their two boys, their two children. And Marty's girlfriend was standing there, and she come up and she said, the future on the paper was erased. And he said, of course. He said, your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. So if you want to change, if you're not happy where you're at today, first of all, of course, a joyful life, a good life begins with making Jesus or knowing Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior. But if you want to change. Don't continue to have bitter and have anger and even have unforgiveness toward your mother because of where you're at today. Don't do that. That's a trick, and that's a scheme from the devil, so don't do that. But a mother is very special. And just think about your mother. There's not a mother on this planet who has not made significant sacrifices for their child at the time they were born, at the time they were a child, at the time they were a teenager, and at the time as they were an adult. So call your mother and wish her a happy Mother's Day. God bless you, and I love you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.